whatever drug or you trial operation, that must be benefit to the patient. It is not like that you go for some type of operation or you give a drug which is still not approved and you just try to do, you say that in the literature it is being experimented, it is beneficial. Unless it is categorically proved that it is beneficial, you cannot give to the patient. The patient can file a litigation. Then fidelity and justice mean whenever there will be problem with the patient, he can approach the courts. You cannot say your prescription, your record will be important once the patient goes to the court. You can ask any question in between because I have. So coming again to autonomy, the right to participate and decided on a course of action without undue influence. You cannot influence a patient that no, this antibiotic is better, because nowadays in different states we have come across, because being an MCI, we come across the ethical cases where the doctor, they prescribe the substandard drugs. So you cannot prescribe the substandard drugs. Drugs of only good quality and of proven efficacy. So there are so many cases where the local drugs have been prescribed by the doctors, and those local drugs, they cost more than 2 to 3 times the standard drug, and the doctors are prescribing. So that is not acceptable. Veracity, the duty to tell the truth, means suppose a patient is having HIV disease. So the truth is you have to tell. A patient is having cancer, you have to tell. Now it is the modality of you that how you tell. Because if sometimes if you tell to a person, if you see the by the education background, if the person is not well educated, and if you tell that to the patient, he may get frightened. So as a doctor, your duty should be that you ask another person of his family, his or her family, who is well versed, and then explain to him that you are having this disease, venereal disease, or you are having HIV, or you are having cancer. This is the cancer stage, and now you can go further for to a cancer specialist, etc. So, as a doctor, you have to tell the truth. Some of the doctors, what they do, that they for the patients of cancer and those, they go on treating without the specific, in case of cancer, the modalities have to be either the operation, you have to remove that organ, or the radiotherapy or chemotherapy. And if you go on giving the antibiotic, those things, that is not going to benefit the patient. So that you have to be the. Then privacy, respecting privileged knowledge. Again, this is the same thing. These are called the. Suppose there are some of the cases where privileged communication is there, where you have, as a doctor, you have to tell either to the court or to some person. Suppose if a patient is having some disease, venereal disease or some disease which can spread, and you go to a hotel or there, etc., that patient is there. If you don't tell to the hotel authority, he will suppose he goes in the swimming pool. There he will infect the other person. So there it comes the privileged communication. As a doctor, you can communicate. Similar is with the court. In the court, if you go and the court says, okay, you tell what is the disease, you have to communicate. You cannot cite this, that it is a confidential, I cannot disclose. Similar is with the cases of those where state comes into play. There are some of the diseases, like the disease of cholera. If you don't tell the state, it will spread. So in these 3 or 4 important conditions where you think there will be a more loss to the society, the state will be harmed, or the court, then you can disclose. The principle and obligation of doing and avoiding harm, this I have already explained, beneficence. Fidelity, the strict observance of promises or duties. This principle as well as this principle, they should be honored by both provider and client. Means here the provider is the doctor, client is the patient. So as a doctor and patient, if you have those things, you have to respect each other. If you Suppose you promise that your disease will be cured by this long treatment. I have to give, suppose the patient is having fungal disease. You know that a fungal disease takes a long time, skin disease. So you have to promise to the patient that it will take about 6 weeks for treatment, etc. So that has to be respected by the principle. Then justice, the principle that deals with fairness, equality, and equity, provide for an individual to claim. Let's stop to the further. Now this is about WHO. Patients' rights understand as one aspect of basic human rights. So this is the in 1948 the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in WHO was made. So this has to be respected at any cost, where the patient's rights and the inherent dignity and the equal and unalienable rights of all members of the human family. And it is the basis of this concept of the person and the fundamental dignity and equality of all human beings. Means this also says that as a doctor you cannot go for a religious treatment. What you nowadays seeing in the Bihar election, etc. These politicians going for the different caste system and religion. We as a doctor we have to be secular. You can't say that the patient is Hindu or Muslim or different. No. You have not to ask any caste, etc. The doctor, all doctors are secular, you have to treat every person. This is the fundamental from the WHO. That we have owed to the patient as a human being by physician or by state, or so that is. Then also this World Medical Association has also the International Code of Medical Ethics. So I am not going into detail. There are so many declaration of Oslo, declaration of Tokyo. Those things they are slightly detailed after going into which are important for you. So this World Medical Association, the International Code of Medical Ethics. So they also state a physician shall owe his patients complete loyalty and all these scientific resources available to him. So that has to be respected. So it is ethical to disclose confidential information when the patient consents to it. I told you exhibition, or when there is a real or imminent threat of harm to the patient or others, and this threat can be only removed by a breach of confidentiality. So you can only breach this confidentiality when I told you those 3 things are there. Then again in the International Code of Ethics, they contains 2 restrictions of physician relation: paying or receiving any fee or any other consideration solely to procure the reference. So now this is very common that a patient goes to the doctor, he examines, and then he says that you go to that doctor for another consultation. I am not having this type of instrument or those. So that has to be this is the another restriction. This is called in other words dichotomy, fee sharing or fee splitting. DICHO, dichotomy, fee sharing or fee splitting, which is not allowed. Second, stealing patients from clinics. This is also nowadays common because I get so many cases of negligence where the another colleague, जैसे एक डॉक्टर वो दूसरे के मरीज को उकसा देता है कि आपके ट्रीटमेंट ठीक नहीं है. So this has to be covered. Recently there was a case in our Rohtak where there was a good nursing home. Their patient was admitted. He was treated, suspected to be a dengue case, and he was well treated but could not recover. So they said that we are taking it to Delhi. They took him to another hospital. There is a Jaipur Golden Hospital in Delhi. It is a big hospital. So there, after reaching there, the patient was serious, and once reached there, they say, "Oh, आपको तो डॉक्टर ने ठीक ट्रीट नहीं किया," और उधर से ही उसको डेथ होगी. He was brought, and there was a lot of hue and cry. डॉक्टर का क्लिनिक तोड़ दिया सारा. So these things should be avoided. We should not criticize the clinic. Even if there is some deficiency in the treatment, you should not say in front of the patient. The best is that you take that prescription and either telephone or whenever your colleague meet, you tell that in my opinion it looks that this treatment should have been like this, but don't criticize. In this, आजकल आपने पता है कि जो एक तरह से होड़ लगी हुई है ज्यादा पेशेंट्स और उसके लिए, so the patients they are stealing the fee is one, he having 200, he another makes 150, 100. So these things they should be avoided. Otherwise, our doctor profession this will be in trouble. Now, this is by the Medical Council of India. This is the highest decision making in India, where Medical Council of India has prescribed that what are the code of ethics, and they say that this is only the list. This list is not exhaustive. Depending upon the circumstances, we can have the list modified. Like in the end, I will be telling you that similar is the list of infamous conduct. They give the list and they say that it is not exhaustive. It can be increased. So coming there, they say the duties and responsibilities of the physician in general. These are the primary duties. Second, duties of doctor, physician to their patients. What are the duties of physician in consultation? Then, responsibilities of physician to each other. What should be our endeavor, ethics, in other words, and duties of physician to the public and to the paramedical profession. So I am not going into the details because they are available on MCI website. If you go to the MCI website, mci.in, so they all are available. There is a long list, but important one I will be telling you. So let's start that instead of telling you all the ethics, what are they say unethical ethics? Advertising. Like advertising is a very important thing. Nowadays the people they say give big advertisement in the press, TV, newspaper. So this is all illegal. You can advertise only either when you start your practice, or if you are away for many years, again restart practice, and in the advertisement it is defined that you will write only your name and your qualification. So that's small thing. But what is happening? You might be, especially in the local channels, so many daily it is coming about the hospital or doctor. This is all illegal. But unless someone complains to the state medical council or medical council, this will go on. I have one piece of paper, this is from our state, where this doctor is practicing, like even in the buses outside advertisement there, Shartiya, Pakka Ilaj, this is all illegal. So now this doctor, this dama, allergy, जोड़ों का दर्द, sugar पुनर्नगर और बिना दवा चीनी मशीन द्वारा, and he is writing Dr. Raghuveer Singh, ACV, MD. So this is all illegal. He is not MD. He is not MD. So just this is to show you this is all illegal. In so many newspapers, even in Himachal buses, Haryana, Punjab, there are mentioned on the buses that Pakka Ilaj karenge, Sharti Ilaj. This is all illegal. But who will act against them? The law says that either MCI, no one complains to the MCI, no one complains to the state medical council. So now in the new concept, they have said that the civil surgeon of the area, he can act. Like if this is going in your Dharamshala Kangra, so the civil surgeon of the Kangra can act against the advertisement etc. And usually, you know, these people, they are politically appointed, they never act. This is in our state also, in Punjab. There are so many these types of advertisement and no one acts against them. Second, patent and copyrights. Again, you might have seen some of the doctors, they give their own products, वो अपनी पुड़िया से बना के देते हैं, and no one knows what is there in that. So that is illegal. You cannot have these patents and copyrights. Then running an open show, dispensation. They go on foreign tour by these companies, etc. That has been now categorically banned by this. Last year there was a trip to Singapore by a group of doctors of one specialty, and NCA took a strong exception, and they were all penalized. So you cannot ask for the rebate commission, but these things they are going on. Then again, secret remedies cannot be advised. There are so many, you claim in the newspaper that they are having that secret remedy, and if the patient comes, they will treat. But that is absolutely illegal. And you think, yeah, I have told you. Then the misconduct. You should know these. What are misconduct? The following acts of commission. Commission means if you commit, or omission means if you do not do, of the physician, they constitute the professional misconduct, rendering him or her liable for disciplinary action. So now you have to be very careful, read these carefully. Violation of the regulation. I told you the ethical regulation, and if you violate, you will be punished. Then this is most important. Non-maintenance of medical record of indoor patient. This is required for a period of 3 years, and refusal to provide within 72 hours. So some doctors, they have misconception, they can refuse to provide the medical record. No. NCI categorically says that you have to provide the medical record to the patient within 72 hours if a patient asks. And you have to maintain the medical record. The medical record is the most important thing for a doctor, which will save you in the court. You may have treated a patient very efficiently, but if you have not maintained the proper record, it won't benefit you. Because once the case goes to the court of law, it will be very difficult. Then, adultery or improper conduct, I think you know adultery definition. Here, the adultery in the sense that a doctor should not indulge in the sexual relation with the patient. The general definition of adultery is a heterosexual conduct between one spouse and a person of the opposite sex during subsistence of marriage. In short, adultery is a mixing of relations, extramarital relationship, that improper conduct that has to be avoided. Then again, if a doctor is convicted by a court of law, you will be again punished. Your name will be removed. Then carrying out sex determination test, you know nowadays the PNDT Act and deciding. And again, this is a very lucrative business. In our state, I know there are so many cases, maximum number of cases going on, because the people in they trying to know the sex, they give the maximum fee, and even the doctors, they are doing so in the illegal, secretive way. At times they do try to do the sex determination while during travel. That they go from one city to another city, and during they are having that is not mobile your ultrasound machine, and they do. So many cases going in our state, and even in a different area also. Then signing professional certificate. This is really very important. Signing a professional certificate means, suppose you are sitting here and one of your known is in Shimla, and he or she says that you prepare a certificate for me, medical certificate, I want 2 days leave. And if you prepare here medical certificate, this is illegal. So there are, as a doctor, you have to be very careful while giving these rest and the medical certificate, because you should not take it lightly. There are cases on record. You might be knowing that famous case where one doctor from Chandigarh, he gave the certificate to that Mr. Manu Sharma, who killed that lady, that famous case. So there he gave a certificate to Manu Sharma, that doctor based in Chandigarh. So on that day, Manu Sharma was at Delhi, and he gave the certificate from Chandigarh. So he has been now punished, and his name has been removed from the Indian medical register. So you have to be very careful. Sometimes your friend, relative may ask the doctor, please give me the certificate. No, you have to ask that person to come to your clinic or hospital. You have to examine, you have to make entry in the register, then you have to take the signature of that person and write the identification marks, and then you have to give it. Otherwise, they will be considered illegal and you can be punished. Similarly, with the reports nowadays, those are days gone where the person used to run clinic at different places and they used to sign the report, especially in the diagnostic center. Nowadays they say that the doctor who is present in that diagnostic center, he must be there and he should sign those reports. It is not like that a doctor is running at 4 or 5 places a diagnostic clinic and in the evening he comes and signs. No, now it has been made that he should, he himself or herself has seen those reports. The other documents again which are untrue and misleading, nowadays the MCI and all these are very strict. Then again, contravening the provisions of the Drugs and Cosmetic Act. Nowadays, this goes like suppose you are having a shop in the clinic. There it has been now made mandatory that some of the drugs, like the sleeping pills, they have to be all properly maintained. Especially the scheduled drugs, schedule H, I, L. Those dangerous drugs, they have to be kept in the separate cupboard. And you cannot give them without prescription. The sleeping pills, 2 or 3 cases which I come across, there one doctor, he was a chemist, and he used to practice in a village, and he gave the 175 tablets to one person. 175 Alprex tablets, and those Alprex tablets, they were taken by one lady girl. She was having an affair with another person, neighbor, and they then had all those drugs को पीस करके ना खाने में खिला दिया सारे परिवार को, and all 7 persons they were killed by that. After giving that, they were stranded, and then subsequently that chemist was also blamed and he was put behind the bar. That how you keep those drugs. So the contaminating the drugs. Similarly, the Cosmetic Act, Drugs and Cosmetic now has been very strictly followed. Again, this misconduct, disclosing the secrets of the patient that has been learned in the exercise of which except I told you in a court of law under orders of the presiding judge. If a judge says that you can have to disclose, no. Or in some circumstances where there is a serious and identified risk to a specific person or community which I explained to you. And lastly, the notifiable diseases, these cholera, malaria, these. Then again, what about the misconduct? Not obtaining in writing the consent from the husband or wife. Law says that once you are married, your all things they have to be shared by wife. So if you want to go for an operation as a husband, you want to go for sterilization, consent of your wife is also must. You cannot yourself, you say no, it is my body, no. The law says you have to take the consent of both. Only in, the exception is only in this, that abortion act where the female alone can give the consent, empty the. Otherwise in all acts, the husband and wife both. And in case of minor, either parent or guardian has to give the consent. And this has to be before performing that operation. But there are certain exceptions, like in emergency case. Suppose you are working and you are sitting in a casualty where a patient comes, no one is with the patient and he is bleeding. There is a crush injury of the limb, and if you do not remove the limb, if you do not do amputate, the person will die. So in that case, under section 90 IPC, emergency power, the law authorizing the doctor to go for operation. But that has to be certified in the hospital file that we are going due to this emergency. Then again, publishing photographs or case report of a patient without permission. We cannot publish the photograph of a person or even the case report in the medical other journal where their identity can be disclosed. The patient can choose. Then performing or enabling an unqualified person to perform an abortion or even for that the operation. The law says that suppose you are running a clinic. In that clinic you should have only qualified doctors. Even the assistants you have, they should be properly qualified. Mean if a person is dispensing drug, that he should have the license of a chemist. Or if you are having a staff nurse, that should have the proper course. Because nowadays there are, I will be telling in the next lecture, where there is a concept of respondent superior. So if you employ a unqualified person, maybe that you are a senior doctor, and if you employed a junior doctor, unqualified, or any unqualified person, you will be liable. There are so many cases on record. As a medical advisor, I get from the state, there are many cases where the doctor says, no, I am qualified. So we say that there is no doubt you are qualified, but if you employ an unqualified person and he or she do some heroic work, even there are cases where the person is not able to do the vivisection and the wrong treatment is given, wrong drug was given, the person has died, there will be problem with the doctor. Then performing in vitro fertilization or artificial insemination without the informed consent of the female patient or her spouse, or as well as the donor. This is also a separate big topic. This is called artificial insemination, donor and heterologous, where if a couple is infertile and if the semen of husband is taken, that is all right, there is no problem. That is called artificial insemination, homologous. So, but if the semen of donor is taken, then you have to take the consent of donor and husband. Otherwise, the husband can sue the female. There are so many cases on record where if this artificial insemination is done without the informed consent of either of the spouse, the cases are in the court. So that we have to be same with in vitro fertilization. Then this using touts or agents, that has also been banned. In some, I don't know about this Himachal Pradesh, but in Haryana, Punjab, there were touts where they, at the bus stand of the district and sub-division headquarters, even rickshaw pullers, they were the touts, they used to take any, कोई भी उनको सवारी मिल गई, आपने मेडिकल दिखाना है, वो डॉक्टर के पास लेके जाते थे, उसको 10 या 20 रुपए देते थे रिक्शा वाले को. So those things, touts and agents, they have been banned completely, that you cannot use any tout. Then again I have told you regarding misconduct about the research, clinical drug trials and other research involving patients, volunteers, we have to done as per ICMR guidelines. Providing ethical consideration are mind, and the violation of existing ICMR guidelines in this regard shall constitute misconduct. There are many doctors, they have been penalized only on these grounds. So you have to wait there, and in the ICMR website, these all details are given. Very big the guidelines, the number of critical guidelines. Now this is a new one. If a physician is posted in a rural area, is found absent on more than 2 occasions during inspection by the head of the district health authority or chairman Jilla Parishad, the same will be construed as misconduct. Previously this was not there, but nowadays this same is with the, like if a physician posted in a medical college institution, both as a teaching faculty or otherwise, is found absent on more than 2 occasions, same will be construed as a misconduct. Similar, like in your institution, if a inspecting body comes and if one doctor is not found 2 times, this will be taken as misconduct. So this is the reason that the NCI and the State Medical Council say that the list of misconduct cannot be complete, depending upon the recent guidelines, they are expanding or they are changing. Now comes the punishment and disciplinary action. So now this was up to that, what are the misconduct? Now we have to tell you that if you do the misconduct, what will be punishment to you? So the instances of offence and of professional misconduct given above, this I told you do not constitute and are not intended to constitute a complete list of an infamous act which call for The circumstances may and do arise from time to time in relation to which there may occur questions of professional misconduct which do not come within any of these categories. I told you. So that is not. Every care should be taken that the code is not violated in letter or spirit. So what is the, how the punishment is given? Upon receipt of any complaint of professional misconduct, the appropriate medical council would hold an inquiry and give opportunity to the registered medical practitioner to be heard in person. So आपकी किसी के अगेंस्ट आती है तो आपकी स्टेट मेडिकल काउंसिल में हम उस डॉक्टर को बुलाते हैं, उसको नोटिस आता है कि आपके अगेंस्ट ये चार्ज लगा है, आप आइए और एक्सप्लेन कीजिए. If the medical practice is found to be guilty of committing professional misconduct, the appropriate medical council may award such punishment as deemed necessary or may direct the removal altogether. Now, that is called professional death sentence. अगर किसी डॉक्टर ने कोई ग्रेव को कर दिया है तो उसका नाम मेडिकल रजिस्टर से बिल्कुल निकाल दिया जाता है. This is called professional death sentence. Or name can be removed for a specific period, 6 months, 3 months, 1 year, 2 years, depending upon the name of the designated registered practitioner. This is the punishment, type of punishment. Then deletion from the register shall be widely published. This law says that it has to be published widely in the local press as well in the publication of different medical body, associations, societies, and different medical professionals, they are having different associations. Anesthetists having their association, surgeon their association, we forensic medicine are having our association. So those association bodies, the registered body, that has to be published, that this name of this doctor has been removed from the register. And in case the punishment of removal from the register is for a limited period, the appropriate council may direct that the name should be removed, restored after. जैसे 6 महीने के लिए निकाला है, 6 महीने के बाद again council will write that his name should be restored. 6 महीने पूरे हो गए, इसको बाद इसका नाम दोबारा. Then decision on complaint. Now this is important. That it has to be done within 6 months time. ये ऐसा नहीं है कि कोर्ट में केस डाल दिया 15 साल 10 साल तक चलता रहा. नो, क्योंकि डॉक्टर को प्रॉब्लम होगी इसलिए जब तक उसको ये डिसीजन नहीं होता. So the decision of complaint has to be made within 6 months. So for this we are frequently called by the state medical council. I go to medical council of India also to decide about the ethical complaints. We have to give fast result. No, ये नहीं कि वो डॉक्टर के अगेंस्ट डाल दी, वो क्योंकि जैसे ही कंप्लेंट डल जाती है डॉक्टर को कहा जाता है कि आप अपना यू बी केयरफुल, तो उसका ये नहीं उसके प्रैक्टिस सफर करें. During the pendency of the complaint, the appropriate council may restrain the physician for performing the procedure. So this is the problem. अगर किसी डॉक्टर के अगेंस्ट सीरियस कंप्लेंट है तो ये काउंसिल है वो उसको कह देती है कि यू डोंट प्रैक्टिस, जब तक आपका डिसीजन नहीं हो जाता यू कैन नॉट गो फॉर प्रैक्टिस. सो दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम. वी हैव टू डिसाइड विद 6 months. Then professional incompetence shall be judged by peer group as per guideline prescribed. So medical council of India says कि आपने किसी की जो वो निकालनी है कि अगर competence निकालनी है तो कैसे डिसाइड करनी है. What we do? तो हम क्या करते हैं इसमें आपकी कंपेटेंस डिसाइड करने के लिए अगर किसी गायनेकोलॉजिस्ट ने ऑपरेशन किया है तो 3 गायनेकोलॉजिस्ट लगाएंगे कि जो उसके समकक्ष होंगे, एमडी गायने. अगर 3 किसी सर्जन की है तो हम सर्जन लगाएंगे. अगर कोई एमसीएच है तो एमसीएच उसके ऊपर के या उसके बराबर के होने चाहिए डॉक्टर जो कि डिसाइड करेंगे कि क्या इस डॉक्टर ने इनकम्पिटेंस की है कि नहीं, क्या नेग्लिजेंस की है. So that ये नहीं होता कि आपके किसी सर्जन की गलती निकालने के लिए एमडी मेडिसिन को बढ़ा दिया, ऐसा नहीं. हमेशा वहां पर एमसीआई में और स्टेट मेडिकल काउंसिल के अंदर सुपीरियर और उसके समकक्ष जाते हैं जो डिसाइड करेंगे कि इसने की है कि नहीं. एंड दैट हैज टू बी फ्रॉम द टेक्स्ट बुक वी हैव टू साइट कि अगर कोई ऑपरेशन किया है तो उसमें बुक्स को साइट करते हैं कि देखिए इस स्टैंडर्ड टेक्स्ट बुक के अंदर ये प्रोसीजर दिया हुआ है, इस ढंग से करना है और इन्होंने ये स्टैंडर्ड नहीं फॉलो किया हुआ है. वी हैव टू कैटेगोरिकली से, ऐसा नहीं कि डॉक्टर के साथ इनजस्टिस हो जाए. सो दीज आर द मेडिकल काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया अमेंडमेंट. अगेन दिस code of conduct for doctors and professional association of doctors in the relationship pharmaceutical companies. क्या करना है इसमें? गिफ्ट्स सो आपने पहले देखा बड़ा कॉमन था कि हॉस्पिटल के अंदर एमआर घूम रहे होते हैं, वो दवाई दे करके और साथ में गिफ्ट दे देते थे. नाउ दिस हैज बीन बैंड in all medical colleges in state also. A medical practitioner shall not receive any gift from any pharmaceutical allied healthcare industry and their sales people or representatives. Secretly तो होता रहता है, लेकिन जब भी पता लग जाता है तो डॉक्टर इज same travel facility. A medical practitioner shall not accept any travel facility inside the country or outside, including rail, airship, cruise tickets, paid vacation, etc. from any pharmaceutical or allied healthcare industry or their representative for self and family member for vacation or for attending conference, seminar, workshop, CME program as a delegate. It clinical those disciplines, this was very frequent some years back, but now this has been banned. And any doctor found, like in our medical college, about 23 doctors they have been punished for this. One going for to a different country on the ticket, because then there are methods to then find out that who gave you the ticket and these commissions. So this has been strictly followed. Then again, hospitality. Medical practitioner shall not accept any hospitality like hotel accommodation for self and family members under any pretext. Cash or monetary grants. A medical practitioner shall not receive any cash or monetary grants from any pharmaceutical allied healthcare industry for individual purposes in individual capacity under any pretext. So this has been now incorporated by the MCI, and we have to be very careful. Similar affiliation. A medical practitioner may work for pharmaceutical and allied healthcare industry in advisory capacity as a consultant, as a researcher, as a treating doctor, or any other professional capacity. Doing so, the medical practitioner shall ensure क्या होना चाहिए. अगर कोई ज्यादातर जो ये फार्माकोलॉजी के डॉक्टर्स होते हैं जो उसमें they go for, so his professional integrity and freedom are maintained. Then patient's interests are not compromising in any way. Such affiliations are within law, and such affiliation implements are fully transparent and disclosed. जो उसको सैलरी या whatever he is getting, that has to be in a transparent way. Then you can only, otherwise not allowed. Nowadays they are very strict. Many doctors from medical colleges for different, they have been involved. And maintaining professional autonomy in dealing with the pharmaceutical and allied healthcare industry, a medical practitioner shall always ensure that there shall never be any compromise either with the professional autonomy or with the autonomy or freedom of medical institution. Endorsement. A medical practitioner shall not endorse any drug or product of the industry publicly. Any study conducted on the efficacy or otherwise such product shall be presented to or through appropriate scientific bodies or published in appropriate scientific journal. कि अगर कोई आपको लगती है कि ऐसे अच्छी ड्रग आ गई है तो उसको फर्स्ट इट हैज टू बी presented in the CMEs etc. and then published in the proper journal, and then you can, otherwise you cannot endorse it. So now coming to the conclusion, you look to be done. So even after implementation of Medical Council Act, many unethical activities exist in medical profession. So it is highly necessary to amend the Medical Council Act with provisions to remove all deformities. There are some problems still there which have to be removed, and MCI takes up disciplinary action only on complaint. And most of the victims of medical negligence may not be interested in proceeding against the doctor or may not be aware of the procedure. Many poor patients, they don't know about the negligence, they don't complain to the MCI, because for complaining you need to have a lawyer, advocate, and then, so these have to be. Apart from this, the Medical Council Act 1956 does not provide any procedure to be followed for conducting an inquiry, and such investigation is often conducted by ad hoc committees, and they take a long time to submit a report due to their unaccountability. There are so many cases still pending in Medical Council of India. So some kind of legal machinery are required in the context of new emerging medical tourism and its impact on market. Medical tourism, you know, are rampant in India, just like visiting shopping centers, and advancement of medicine and technology has created new challenges in the medical field. Problems relating to infertility treatment, artificial nutrition, hydration, treatment of patients in coma are some of the controversial issues in this regard, and in the lived world of medical technology, formal and informal regulation by professional and institutions are necessary, so an effective law can provide better atmosphere in medical practices. Thank you. You can ask any question regarding this total. Yes.
I heard that last 1 year that Indian government, what's a medical association, has proved that Ayurvedic doctor can also prescribe the allopathic medicine.
Okay, this is actually I will be quoting you the judgment in the next this session. I have the judgment that Ashwin Patel versus that is Supreme Court judgment. You are right. There was a Supreme Court judgment in which it was said that doctors who allopathic doctors, they cannot prescribe the Ayurvedic medicine like L52 dose etc. And Ayurvedic doctors, they cannot prescribe the allopathic. But subsequently, the government of India and the state governments, they have made the law because it is not possible for them to depend only on allopathic doctors. Let me be frank that in our state there are so many big hospitals, and those all big hospitals, they are assisted by the Ayurvedic doctors there. So how we can prevent them? So the state governments now, they have on their made laws, they have said that whatever is in their profession, what is in your syllabus, what is has been taught to you, you can go for practice that. Mean you can use those drugs, but they have put a rider that you cannot go for an operation which you have not done, not in your syllabus. Mean you cannot remove the uterus of a female because you are not trained in that. So they have now, there are so many judgments. I will be in the next, I will be quoting those judgments there. But you are right partially that they have said that it is not absolutely what the Supreme Court says that the Ayurvedic doctor cannot prescribe allopathic medicine. They can prescribe allopathic medicine, but with the rider, the state governments have put a rider.
Secondly, I want to ask that traditional doctor, Ayurvedic doctor, Tibetan medicine doctor, can use the instrument diagnosis like ultrasound. Then can we also use the blood test?
In this case, the law is after that Supreme Court Ashwin Patel versus judgment, there was a lot of hue and cry that what to do, because in most of the states the Ayurvedic doctors they are working with allopathic doctors and they are using. So then the various states have gone. They say that if in your syllabus, in your teaching, if it is there that you are using, you have worked on ultrasound machine, you can use. But if in your syllabus it is not there, then you cannot. That has been the hallmark of the judgment. So now, like in our MBBS our syllabus, it has been clearly defined. Like in first professional, we are having 3 subjects: anatomy, physiology, biochemistry. In second professional, we are having pathology, microbiology, forensic medicine, pharmacology. The syllabus is defined. In pre-final, again 3 subjects: PSN, ENT, and in final, obstetrics, gynae, pediatrics, orthopedics, and this medicine. So they have all defined. So they say even for the MBBS doctor, the Supreme Court has given that as MBBS doctor I cannot do the this removed uterus. We are not taught. In the MBBS syllabus, we are taught only to remove the appendix we can do, but not the uterus. Same. So now they have the Supreme Court and they are going by what in the syllabus. So if in your syllabus it is there that you have operated ultrasound, you know what is ultrasound, you can go for. But if in your syllabus, if you are not knowing that what is ultrasound machine, how it works, and what are its results, you can't go. So that is.
Final one.
Yes.
I faced a few cases, with this patient that some patient come to us said they have prescribed the medicine from the nurse, not the presence of the doctor, So what's the rule and regulation and such a border where nurse can prescribe the medicine
Yes, I have made it absolutely clear. A nurse cannot prescribe. A nurse cannot prescribe medicine. This is totally wrong. A nurse cannot. How can in the nurse? What is the duties of the nurse? Now they have been. Previously, there were some judgments where a surgeon was punished for the acts of the theatre master, staff nurse. If negligence suppose some swab is left. This is the duty of the staff nurse or theatre master. Now they have come with clear cut. No, this is the duty of the staff nurse. This is the duty of the technician. This is the duty of theatre master. They have defined, and if someone not perform, he or she is responsible, not the surgeon. In the initial judgments, by the principle of respondent superior, there is principle of respondent superior. Let the master answer. उसमें क्या था कि जो हॉस्पिटल का सबसे बड़ा डॉक्टर है जिसने ऑपरेशन किया है वो या जो हॉस्पिटल का मेडिकल सुपरिटेंडेंट था उनको पनिशमेंट मिलती थी रेस्पोंडेंट सुपीरियर में। लेकिन उसके बाद में सुप्रीम कोर्ट में काफी ऐसे आगे क्वेश्चन इसमें उन्होंने कहा कि तो जी हर बार हम ही फंसेंगे। नाउ द रिवाइज जजमेंट्स हैव कम, नाउ दे हैव स्प्लिट इट कि एक अगर सर्जन ऑपरेशन कर रहा है उसमें सर्जन का क्या काम है, असिस्टेंट सर्जन का क्या काम है, नर्स का क्या काम है, थिएटर मास्टर का क्या काम है। जो अगर वहां पे ऑपरेशन खत्म होते वक्त सर्जन कहता है कि सिस्टर से स्टाफ नर्स से कि आपने काउंट कर लिए स्वयं, अगर उसने कहा है और उसने कह दिया मैंने काउंट कर लिए, तो अगर नहीं होया तो शी विल बी रिस्पांसिबल। ऐसे ही इंस्ट्रूमेंट का तो ऐसे केसेस आए हैं हमारे पास जहां पर थिएटर मास्टर को पनिशमेंट हुई है, स्टाफ नर्स को, क्योंकि उन्होंने काउंट नहीं किए सर्जन ने। सो नाउ सिमिलर जो आप कह रहे हैं इसमें स्टाफ नर्स कैन नॉट प्रिस्क्राइब, वो तो बिल्कुल इलीगल है। उसको जो भी उसको ले आकर के दे विल बी रिस्पांसिबल। एनी अदर क्वेश्चन?
So nowadays there are many private hospitals, and I felt that most of the procedures were done by the junior doctors who are in their internship. So is it legal?
No, this is not legal. This is it has been clearly prescribed. This is the medical that a junior doctor he can do, a doctor who is under training. I want to know from you which you consider a junior doctor. If a doctor is on training, you are asking a junior doctor, or if a doctor has already become full-fledged doctor. In our hospital, we call the junior doctor intern who has done the MBBS, he is going for internship training. Then those who are doing the post-graduation, they are called junior doctor. So the Supreme Court has fixed their liability differently. They say that a doctor, junior doctor, intern is separated. कि intern को उसने MBBS कर ली है या आपके BMS की हुई है तो उसकी इतनी knowledge है, he should do only those things, cannot go beyond his reach. क्या है इसका मतलब? इंटर्न आपके ड्रिप लगा सकता है, आपके ड्रिप लगा सकता है, ड्रग प्रेस्क्राइब कर सकता है वो, लेकिन ही कैन नॉट गो फॉर मेजर ऑपरेशन। सिमिलरली द पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट, ए पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट डॉक्टर ऑफ सर्जरी वो हर्निया हाइड्रोसिस तो कर सकता है, बट ही कैन नॉट गो फॉर मेजर ऑपरेशन। गायनी के अंदर एक जो एमडी कर रही है वो यूट्रस फुल वो नहीं कर सकती, यूट्रस को रिमूव नहीं कर सकती, सर्जरी नहीं कर पाएगी।
So, first comes what are the moral principles guiding the medical legal practice. They will be discussed under these following heads: beneficence, autonomy, justice, value and sanctity of human life, truth and integrity. Some of these things we have discussed, so I will be skipping those. First comes application of law in healthcare. Laws on various aspects of healthcare have been enacted from time to time to regulate the functioning of hospitals, assuming that their implementation will remove the inadequacies and malpractices. That is the application of law. Coming to the Indian scenario, Indian judiciary and medical practice, who controls these laws? So in our Indian system, there is a civil jurisdiction, civil courts consumer protection for the criminal jurisdiction, human rights commission, and finally the medical council of India. Let me tell you the basic thing, what is the difference between a civil case and criminal case. Civil case is one where two parties, private parties, they fight each other. Mean, if a patient has a grievances from the doctor, he files a case. So this is between the doctor and patient. Both are private parties. Criminal case is one where the government comes into picture. अगर आप किसी से झगड़ा कर देते हैं, कोई मर्डर रेप हो जाता है, तो उसमें आपको कोई केस डालने की जरूरत नहीं है, अपने आप गवर्नमेंट police will come into action. That is a criminal case. So that is the difference between civil and criminal case. Human Rights Commission, you know, it comes into play. Consumer protection, I will be telling you, this is the simplest form nowadays, the consumer protection. I will be telling you slide more details and about the medical council of India. So, you as an administrator, this is the duty of each and every hospital administrator to know his lawful rights and responsibilities. Mean, with respect to hospital staff की क्या responsibility है, employees की, patients की, visitors की. Every person has some duties. So it is necessary that one should have the sufficient background and legal knowledge of hospital care in order to know when to seek the professional legal advice. कि आपको कब advice लेना है. जहां पे भी आपको कोई clarification चाहिए, you can ask me in between. There is no need to come to the end of the topic. So let this vicarious liability or responsibility. This is a very important thing. This is a Latin phrase which means respondent superior. This means let the superior be responsible. In other words, a person may become liable to pay damages for amount of negligence committed by his employees or agents in the course of carrying out his duties as such employee or agent. In other words, like in this medical college here, suppose your principal or medical superintendent is the chief. So last say अगर कोई problem होती है और so then he or she is responsible for the acts of employees. This respondent superior is also known as let the master reply, master answer. What is this in let the master answer? Mean there should be a master servant relationship. इसका क्या मतलब है कि आप अगर हॉस्पिटल चला रहे हैं और आपके हॉस्पिटल में जितने भी डॉक्टर पैरामेडिकल स्टाफ है उन सब की रिस्पांसिबिलिटी आपकी है. दैट वाज द इनिशियल कंसेप्ट. लेकिन बाद में जैसे कोर्ट केसेस होने लगे तो उन्होंने फिर फर्दर डिफाइन कर दिया कि अगर कोई एम्प्लॉय अपने स्कोप से ज्यादा बाहर आके काम करता है तो देन दैट एम्प्लॉय विल बी रिस्पांसिबल, नॉट द एम्प्लॉयर फॉर मोर थिंग. So this vicarious liability for the act of another or respondent superior